Happy New Year. I'm going to try as much as possible not to be emotional in this video, but yeah, it may be a little hard, but I'll try. I'll try. It's taking me so much to sit in front of the camera just to film this. I have been shifting and shifting and shifting, and I just told myself, you know what, today I'm going to do this. Anyhow it comes out, I'll just do it that way. So yeah, I'm here making this video now. I lost my dad. He did Christmas. If there's anything I'm so grateful for, yes, the gift of the Holy Spirit, because He made me call my dad. I don't know how I would feel or how I would have been feeling knowing that I've not seen my dad in a while and then I could even call him. No, I don't know how I would have felt. And it's funny how he had other calls when I went back home and checking his phone. It's funny how he had other calls, but I was the only one he spoke to. I was the only one that he returned my call, my missed call. Yeah, I'm grateful for the Holy Spirit. I don't know how I would have been feeling. I still feel very broken. I'm still very broken. Until it happens to you, I bet you can never understand the feeling. Around the middle of 2024, I kept telling my husband, oh my God, I miss Christmas in my father's house. I miss the way Christmas used to be. And my husband was like, oh, would you want to go and spend Christmas in your father's house? And I told him, no, we'll just go for New Year, because normally we go for the New Year or after New Year, we'll just stay a while and then return back home. But I kept having that nudge. I mean, like from the middle of 2024 up until almost the end, in short, up until December, I kept feeling that way. Looking back now, it's almost like I feel like God was telling me I need to go home. So I didn't go. I didn't go for Christmas, or rather, I did not listen to that voice that was telling me you need to go home. I didn't listen. If only I listened, at least I would have had a little time with my dad before he passed. So I was talking with my sister and I was like, I need to call Popsy. And she was like, oh yeah, you should. Mommy just said he just got back from the hospital and all that. So I called him, he didn't pick. Then I called my mom. My mom was sounding very lively, very okay. And I called, I was like, oh, how are they? She was like, they are fine. They just got back from the hospital to check Popsy's health and all that. I was like, oh, great. She was okay. And I was like, oh, I called daddy and he didn't pick. And I said, maybe he's sleeping or something. But she's sure he's going to call me because he just loaded, like, they just put airtime for him on his phone. She's sure he's going to call me when he wakes up. But I still try calling him, right? And I was like, okay. After I had that call, my mom, I called my dad again. He didn't pick, so I was speaking with my sister and Popsy was calling, and I was like, oh, daddy's calling me. Let me pick this call. Um, whew, I picked, and my dad was sounding very weak. Growing up, my dad has always been a very strong man. My dad is the strongest man in this world. My dad is such a strong man, or was such a strong man. I can't believe I'm using was. My dad used to be a very strong man. Growing up, my dad, no matter how down he is, he would never tell you he's sick. Even when you're saying it, he'll tell you he's okay. You know, um, even prior to the sickness, when you call him, oh daddy, how are you? He'll tell you, I'm okay. Thank you for your prayer. It's your prayer that is keeping me. And I mean, he doesn't say that to just us. He says that to even his friends when they call. He'll be like, oh, thank you so much for your prayer. It's a prayer that is keeping me. And hearing my dad that day sound extremely weak broke me so much. I'm trying not to cry. Yeah, hearing my dad sound so weak broke me so much. But I I almost cried, but I was like, no. And then we spoke, and he was like, baby, how are you? And I was like, I'm fine. How is he? He was like, he just got back from the hospital. And I was like, how is he again? And he said, I was like, oh, has he eaten? And he said, yes. And he was asking me, oh, how is my husband? How are my in-laws? And I responded, fine. How is he? How are they? And then he was like, how's preparation for Christmas? I said, fine. How is yours going? Never did I know that my dad doesn't really spend Christmas with us. Oh, yeah. Never did I know that my dad doesn't really spend Christmas with us. Um, and when I asked how is his Christmas preparation, how is their Christmas preparation over there going, the phone went off. And I know Popsy sometimes they give him pills for sleeping because sometimes he struggles to sleep. He struggles to find sleep. So they give him medications to help him sleep. So I'm like, okay, maybe he just dozed off. And yeah, much later, maybe like around to seven something ish, my dad called me. And I looked at my phone, I was like, oh, why is Popsy calling me? But I was like, okay. And then I picked and we were talking. He was like, baby, sorry, I slept off. And I was like, no, 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 it's okay. How are you? He sounded a lot better than when we spoke earlier, right? And he said, he's okay. And he was like, oh, how are my in-laws? How is my husband? How is the Christmas preparation going? And I responded, fine. And I asked him, how are the mommy doing? He said, fine. How is he? Fine. And I said, how is preparation for Christmas? And he answered, he said, fine. And he was like, oh, I should greet my husband, regards to my in-laws. My God, I was like, okay. And he was still sounding weak, but at least a little bit better than how he sounded earlier when we spoke. Um, and I told him, Daddy, I'll call you tomorrow and wish you a Merry Christmas. And his response was, thank you. And the call ended. It's funny how this Christmas that we decided, oh, we're going to have a Christmas tradition in my house, myself and my husband. Um, the year I got a very big Christmas tree, the year we decided to do pajamas picture, the year that we planned so much for Christmas, is the year my dad passed. Like, I don't even know how to feel, to be honest. I don't know how I feel. I don't know how Christmas is going to be again, but Christmas is never going to be the same. I chatted with my sister and I sent her our PG pictures. I did not know that my dad had passed then. I didn't know that my dad had passed, and she didn't know how to tell me. She called my husband. My husband was not picking up because he left the other phone in the house. So she kept calling, he wasn't picking up, and she didn't know how to tell me, oh, tell your husband. And my sister is somebody that does not know how to like press for something so much. Like, how do I explain this? My sister is not one to, oh, disturb me. Oh, tell your husband to call me. Tell your husband to call me. She doesn't do that. That's the kind of person I'm talking about, right? So that day, she kept saying, oh my God, my husband is going to pay extra price. Da, 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 da. And she was like, oh, give your husband the phone. Let me talk to him. I was like, I should call his phone now. I should give him chance to use my phone. And then I gave him the phone. But he was like, oh, he was going to call her. They spoke and she passed the news to him. Told him. Noticed the stare on my husband's face, but he couldn't see anything to me because I mean it was night already. My sister said she was typing that message as she was crying. You can never understand the feeling. It's almost like, oh, let's just tell this person sorry. Let's just tell the person who is well. That's mostly what they need to hear. But no, it's deeper than that. Oh my God, my dad is a month already, and I talk to my dad almost. I talk to my dad so much. I was closest to my dad. So it hurts so much because I mean, um, I'm not in the same city with them. I'm here. I don't get to just bump into the house anytime I want to. I'd have to plan journey and just travel. So yeah, it's losing a loved one is one of the hardest thing ever. No one prepares you for it. No one prepares you for it. No one. It cannot be explained. No matter how they put it, no matter how you think you understand, you can never understand. I remember conversations I've had with my dad of, oh, um, his parents were not privileged to see his children, and he doesn't want that to happen to him. And anytime I think of that, it breaks me so much because my dad is such a sweet grandpa. Just in case you're wondering why I've been away, that's the reason why I have been away for a while now, and I just needed to come and let you guys know um what's happened. Please just say a prayer for my family, say a prayer for my mom especially. Um, ask God to take care of us, take care of my mom especially because nothing ever prepares you for a time as this.